My name is Adrienne Lingerfelt. I graduated high school in 2009 when I went to Ivy Tech Community College for early childhood education and received my associate's degree in 2012. Since 2013, I have been a preschool teacher, and within the last 4 years, I also stepped into a supervisor role where I can teach preschool and supervise staff in the center. My goals would be to provide quality care and learning for children and the families that we serve, and to share my knowledge with others to better the programs in early childhood education. I love to read books to children, and I consider it one of my strengths. My interests include hanging out with my family. I have two beautiful daughters, two dogs, and a husband. Knowledge hoped to gain for the course would just be a better understanding of how to present literature to young children, the best way to give them more information through books. I love to read, and I think reading is a great way to provide them with information that they'll keep forever. So any way that I can do that better would be wonderful. The book that I chose for this activity was Rainbow Fish by Marcus Pfister. So I used to read this book with my grandmother, and I always remember these shiny scales on the front. They're eye-catching. So it also helps with young children whenever you have such beautiful illustrations, but you also catch the shiny reflective surface of the scales as well. So this book, for those who haven't read it, the summary would be that a rainbow fish with shiny scales learns an important lesson when he finds that looks are not the only thing that matter when it comes to friendship. Through advice from a wise octopus, Rainbow Fish decides to share his scales and his beauty with the other fish in the sea. In sharing his beauty with others, he finds friendship and a feeling of happiness. So then, past that, the reasons why I love this book and I think it's fabulous is that it is so important when you're talking to kids to teach them, and it doesn't always matter what you look like, it matters how you treat people. So when I was little, in the message that I still carry on to my students and to the kids in my classroom and my own children, is that you see this beautiful fish, and she's gorgeous, and she, whatever it is, this fish has gorgeous scales and colors, but it's the only fish that does. So then you see these other fish, and they want those scales, but the rainbow fish kind of thinks he's better than them, so he's proud and silent and lets his scales shimmer. But when approached by a small fish who asks to borrow one of his scales, rainbow fish gets very upset. And so then he wanders lonely because he wants to make friends, but nobody wants to be friends with him because he won't share his scales. So he seeks some advice from a starfish who tells him to go to this wise old octopus. So he says, "What good were the dazzling, shimmering scales with no one to admire them? Now he was the loneliest fish in the entire ocean." After visiting the octopus, who tells him, I knew you were coming. I've been waiting for you. And he says, "The waves have told me your story. This is my advice. Give a glittering scale to each of the other fish. You will no longer be the most beautiful fish in the sea, but you will discover how to be happy." So Rainbow Fish thinks on it, and when approached by the small fish again, he tries it. And I love this page because it says, "Carefully, the rainbow fish pulled out the smallest scale and gave it to the little fish. Thank you very much," the little blue fish bubbled playfully as he tucked the shiny scale in amongst his blue ones. A rather peculiar feeling came over the rainbow fish. For a long time he watched the little blue fish swim back and forth with his new scale glittering in the water. And it talks on the page about how he finally feels happiness. And he gets to play with all his friends when he continues to share his scales. So the lesson that I love to tell my kids is that beauty, when shared, is even more beautiful. So when you keep everything to yourself, it's so important to share your beauty with other people. And so I absolutely love this book, and I would recommend it for anybody who hasn't seen it. Thanks.